Hello, my name is Pilaf, and you probably got somewhere to be in about 15 minutes. But that's okay, because if you leave in 15 minutes, you're only going to be about 15 minutes late, and a lot of people will forgive that amount of time. Also, I'm not going to talk for 15 minutes, because what I want to talk about today is that episode where Rarity wants to spend time with Sweetie Belle, and also there's a dog. Now, before we begin, I want to say that back in the early seasons of My Little Pony, I think the director called all the writers in, and she told them, alright guys, you got a minute and a half to establish the plot of every episode, go! And then everyone will panic and they're running around, they're throwing papers everywhere, everything catches on fire, and she goes, stop, calm down. I meant a minute and a half episode runtime, you guys have time to write, okay? And everyone calmed down, and they wrote out good episodes of My Little Pony. Or kinda, depending on who you ask. But, these days, I noticed that ain't the case. I noticed this season 7 has been interesting. It's been about 50% terrible and 50% kinda okay, maybe even enjoyable. But one thing that they seem to do, and have been really struggling with, is concisely explaining what the conflict of the story is gonna be. Now, this is a great example because the way this episode opens up, Rarity is in her boutique, off in a completely different city, and she sees this picture of Sweetie Belle, and she's all like, I miss Sweetie Belle. I wanna go spend time with her. And then they roll the credits, and I thought to myself okay, alright, we established the plot on the first page of the script, good work, now let's move on. 8 minutes of runtime later, Rarity finally walks into Sweetie Belle's office and says, hey Sweetie Belle, you wanna go do something today? And Sweetie Belle goes, gee, I don't know, I got a lot on my schedule, but I guess so. 8 freaking minutes! It's a 20-minute show. They use practically half their runtime just to get Rarity to the plot. How do you do that? I feel like there's something wrong, but let's just keep moving. I mean, if you want to know what you missed in those 8 minutes, basically we continue to establish that Rarity misses Sweetie Belle, and then we also establish that Sweetie Belle is gonna help some girl reconnect with their cutie mark, or whatever. Anyway, so halfway into the episode, we finally start doing something, and Rarity is like, Sweetie Belle, you wanna go see a puppet show? And Sweetie Belle sits down next to Rarity, and she's like, listen, Rarity, I have evolved well beyond such puerile pursuits. I have responsibilities now. Of course, I haven't grown enough to appreciate getting away from those responsibilities, so long story short, let's not do this. And Rarity's like, I see where you're coming from. And episode over, pretty much, except there's one other little B-plot going on, and that B-plot is pretty much the same as the A-plot. You could say it's like a parallel plot. But the story here, and this is what I think is really interesting about this episode and why I want to talk about it, is that this little girl owns a schnauzer. Or what I think is a schnauzer. It looks kind of big for a schnauzer, but then ponies are small, so maybe it's just like an optical illusion. But anyway though, she owns this schnauzer, and it doesn't play ball anymore. She's like, oh man, no, he used to love ball. Used to be his favorite thing. I mean, it's a schnauzer, right? And so she throws the ball, schnauzer just lays down. These little girls, they're dragging this dog all around. There's one scene where they pick it up and they carry it, his legs are just dragging in the ground. And they're like, yeah, I don't know, schnauzer won't play ball for some reason. And at the end of the episode, Sweetie Belle examines this dog, and she goes, wait a minute, I know, maybe the lesson I just learned about spend time with Rarity applies to this dog. Maybe this dog has grown out of playing fetch. Then, as if to prove Sweetie Belle right, the dog gets up, and then picks up a stick, and he comes back with the stick, and he's like, there, I prefer this much more organic experience, as opposed to the synthetic polymers in the ball that you threw. And that's pretty much it. If this sounds like there's not really much of an arc, or a story, or whatever, then yeah, you're right. But the thing that really gets me about this is not that it's not really much of a story. It's that, if you own a schnauzer and you throw a ball and he doesn't chase the ball, you gotta check if he's breathing because he might be dead. There was something clearly medically wrong with this dog, and I feel like the episode took the wrong lesson away from this to teach the kids. The lesson they should have given is if your dog just lays around, you try to pick it up and it just drags its feet and it doesn't really want to go, if it looks like it's dying, don't assume it's because the dog has grown out of being a dog. You have to assume that the dog should go see a vet. If I had any children to justify this fixation I have on this show, I would explain things to them a little differently. I would be like, listen, if you have a dog and he behaves like this, tell an adult. First thing you do, okay? And so yeah, anyway, that's the whole episode. I just gave you all the spills and chills and emotional roller coaster you're gonna have. And that was only 5 minutes, so technically, since the show is 20 minutes, I saved you 20 minutes, which means that you can afford to be 15 minutes late to anywhere you want to be now, because you got that for free. So there you go, now you know, watch my show, you're free to go. So okay, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, the fan art. Today we got Pony riding another pony, though I see a bit of my thigh in front of the butt there. Then we got me in an intense state of analysis. I'll be honest, I don't actually watch it that rigorously. Here we got, I guess, a scene of arson on all my merchandise, as a warning to me. Here I could be seen walking around, pounding around with pilaf, spelled differently. The sweet belle about to throw that ball with all the intensity of the sun. People gonna die. Here's a candid shot of me in the mornings just before the show. Every morning, pretty much. I like this one. It's like an abstract, sorta modern art pilaf. Very bold, very brash. Now here I am as the cosmic moose. Banana flame as the sun. This one looks pretty cute. I don't know what it is. Something about the face. Oh, that's an adorable little pilaf. And here's one of me, madly cackling, looking terrifying at some guy on the screen. Okay, listen, I know that my show may not seem like much, but a barrel could not take over my act. And finally, we got hands-free hands turkey, also very bold, very brash. They're so much harder to do than regular turkey. So anyway, yeah, that's all of them. I think sometimes we have more, but I kind of snuck up on everybody with this one. Like, I know I said I was gonna do more, like, actual in-depth analysis, and, like, I lost interest. So anyway, though, thanks for watching, everybody. I guess you have a good day.